Hey guys, what is up? It's Dusty here, back with another crypto video, and today we're gonna be talking about Ripple and XRP. Today I'm gonna try a little bit of a different style. I'm gonna be going over the news for you guys a little bit more directly and see how you guys like it. If you guys like it more, make sure you let me know in the comment section. If you want more commentary on the side, make sure you let me know in the comment section, and let's get into it. Jack the Rippler on Twitter, at RippleXRPie, says, boom, Graham Bright, EuroXM Bank, I do not believe Ripple is going to replace SWIFT. Ripple XRP moving across the SWIFT network as a currency when we are perhaps using something like Forex. Everyone will use XRP. There's actually a little video attached here that's 2 minutes long, and it's actually just another interview. What is actually said, or the most important part, is this right here, and this actually correlates with the fact that we saw in the Japan area where one of the meetings was, that Spring is focused on the $5 trillion a day FX market. I think this correlates with each other quite well, as again they're stating here that they're going for Forex. Jana One Trick on Twitter, Jana_1_trick said, I noticed today the USDPHP Corridor, which again is Philippine pesos, has had the best ODL volume it ever had. Over $1 million were transferred today towards between Bitstamp and Coins.ph. Very small transactions using XRP, a few ODL every minute, no interruption in the last hours. ODL spam. So right here we can actually pretty clearly see the US dollar 24-hour volume per corridor. Here's Philippine peso to US dollars, and here they're also explaining it once more from Bitstamp to Coins.ph. Target fiat PHP, of course, because it's going from US dollar to Philippine peso in these examples right here. But yeah, exactly what she says. Roses on the Moon. At Roses on the Moon on Twitter says, Garlinghouse predictions. Quote open, I think that one of the things that will surprise in a year from now is that banks will be custodying digital assets directly. End of quote. And this is also said in this little video by Garlinghouse here, which we're going to quickly just watch.
So my prediction, about 1 year ago, I actually was here at the Singapore FinTech Festival, and I got in trouble when I went back to the office because the PR team said I had overstepped by predicting that within a year, I predicted that financial institutions like banks would be using XRP in their payment flows. And that was a year ago that I made that prediction, and I go back to the office and everybody was like, Brad, you're not allowed to say things like that. It turns out I was right. Which I remind the team of. So now as I look forward a year from now, like what are the things that are hard for us to imagine being true? And not even specific to Ripple or to XRP's community. I think one of the things that will surprise us a year from now is that banks will be custodying digital assets directly. And I think right now we think about that and think, look, there's no way that's going to happen. They're too conservative. And I think what you're seeing is, two things happening. One is banks are seeing that a lot of money is being made by digital asset exchanges globally, and banks are profit motivated. The second, and as we've talked about up here, certainly Ross has made very clear, is regulatory clarity and regulatory frameworks enable banks and financial institutions to lean into these markets. And I think we will surprise ourselves by this time. But I'll also predict that it will be banks in the ASEAN markets where there is this regulatory clarity and there is a lot of progressive forward thinking. They'll be the first to actually allow for crypto assets custody in their accounts.
Again, this message is really important and really quite clear because he makes two big assumptions for the future, or actually two relatively big predictions. Now, if what he expects, again, to summarize, I think that one of the things that will surprise in a year from now is that banks will custodying digital assets directly. If these things actually do follow up and are true, this will be amazing. And if you're wondering, what is the ASEAN region again? If I'm not mistaken, I believe it's a couple of countries in Southeast Asia. I don't remember what it stands for, but the ASEAN part, I think, stands for Southeast Asia. You could just quickly look up what countries they are, but I don't really think it matters that much. But, again, I think it's the Philippines, Indonesia, Singapore, Thailand, what else there? Cambodia, Vietnam, Laos, Brunei, Myanmar. I don't know. There's a couple other countries there. I think there's 10. Maybe they expanded, but there you know what he means with that. Again, very important prediction. His previous prediction also came true that he stated here in the beginning. So I'm pretty excited to see what the future will hold. Maniac went onto Twitter to state, actually on Twitter his @ is @crypto_maniac_. He says, we just hit new all-time high for BitSol liquidity index for XRP to Mexican peso. Yeah, we can definitely see here that within the liquidity index for BitSol, which shows us XRP to Mexican pesos on here on the 12th of November. This always messes me up, but in this case it's easy to see the difference. Current index 5 million, all-time high 5.3. Oh, you can see here, like the current index here is 5.348, so it's just slightly higher than the all-time high that we saw before. We just made another new all-time high, and realistically speaking here, the growth here is phenomenal. Now, they did not attach any data points here at the bottom to know exactly what dates what happened, but we can all estimate here that this has not been going on for too long. So we can maybe assume that everything is one day. Well, anyhow, we can really see that a lot of progress is being made, and we're making some new all-time highs almost every day now. The only reason I think it's a lot of news now is just because of how high it is getting. I can like that message. It's amazing, guys. We're making a lot of progress in a very short amount of time. @crypto or XRP Crypto Wolf on Twitter said, Ripple's global head of banking, Marjan Delatine, said MoneyGram is already live and processing Ripple's XRP-based on-demand liquidity (ODL) in multiple countries and markets like Thailand and Mexico. Now, there's a whole article here explaining a little bit more about the situation on dailyhold.com, but I told you guys that I was going to do a little bit more of an abbreviated approach. We're just showing you guys a lot of these tweets that I think are really important, instead of really getting in-depth with everything. Again, you need to let me know what you like the most, since I personally like to elaborate more on things, really get in-depth with everything. But for example, here, this is a side thing, which I normally don't show in my videos. This is about green eggs and ham. Well, it's about Sam I Am, right, on YouTube, about one of the XRP / Ripple riddle solver guys, and I guess the most popular one out of all of them. And XRP_veteran here on Twitter says, Ham, Eggs, and Sam, this guy is on another level. This made me laugh hard. Well done, must watch. And there's a whole 2-minute clip here of a lot of things which I halfway don't understand, and halfway is just him being fun, I guess, to a lot of people. I personally am not too much interested in this community of Ripple or riddle solving, but I can understand the fun, and I guess the way he does it here is a lot more interesting than I had expected him to do so. Again, I'm not going to be showing you guys the footage here just for copyright issues, and I noticed he blinks a whole lot. If you watch this video, you'll probably know what I mean, because he blinks a frick ton. But again, it's not bad, and you can see a lot of people are really happy with this stuff. But again, would you like to, or like me to talk about those riddles as well, or would you like me to skip out on it? Just because I'm personally not a fan doesn't mean none of you are, so let me know if you are interested in it. Matt Attack XRP here on Twitter, a guy from the Netherlands here, which I should follow then. Hey, nationalism, just kidding. Says, wow, Ripple made its way over to a meetup in Japan. We actually saw some info about this Japan meeting before, and we've also learned now that this was actually a huge meeting. And boy, did the news keep on rolling. Warren Pohl stated that Spring is focused on the $5 trillion a day Forex market compared to the crypto market, which is valuated at $2 billion a day. So in this case here, all the goals, all the dreams that we've set, that we've had, were most likely limited to just the XRP market. But now we kind of know that all of our ideas, all of our theories are way too low. There's actually so much more potential than we've been preparing for. And also here, XRP_Stewart on Twitter said, XRP Meetup Japan, Warren Paul Anderson. Before Spring, I actually also created the XRapid product. We are very proud that product has grown to over 100 people that are supporting it within Ripple. Now, I am actually quite confused with what exactly he meant with this part right here, as there's still a couple of ways you can take that in. But afterwards it says here, Spring focused on the $5 trillion a day FX market compared to a $2 billion a day crypto market is still really, really quite insane. Now guys, another video is going to be coming out tomorrow, maybe later today, I don't really know, where I'm going to be explaining a little bit about all these tweets that you've been seeing here, as it's not good. I'm not happy with it, it's not good, and I definitely think it's worth a little bit of an explanation, and I should do a little bit of a warning, a little bit of a caution thing. So if you don't know what it is, it's a scam. Don't press these types of things. You can see the name here is just fake. Watch out for it. They're mostly from Russia. But again, tomorrow, a whole elaborate video is going to be coming out. You've most likely also seen videos like this. I dislike them all the time. I actually wanted to do it within a video here, just explaining everything that you need to do to get these things off the interwebs, off the net. But it's so difficult, guys. It's so difficult to let people know that these things are scams. You should just go to the video, press this part right there, and press spam or misleading, and then scams or frauds whenever you can, just because of how many people it can hurt. You should really watch out for it. I definitely think all of y'all should do it if you get the chance. Another couple of things I saw on Twitter, which at least excited me a little bit, was Vitalik here, who went on to Twitter to state, did you know that over 5, or at least on average 500,000 people were lifted out of extreme poverty last week? If not, don't worry, the same thing will happen next week. And I'm just really amazed with the metrics here and with the data. I mean, 500,000 people a week doesn't sound like that much, and in theory, it is still a very big issue and not that many people if we put it into perspective of how many people there are. But then again, 500,000 people that are lifted out of poverty when there's, when they're born into poverty, I mean, they don't really have a way out, to still help 500,000 people a week. That's a lot of people, right? That's a freaking lot of people. That's at least how I start to think about it. How much is that? Like 25 million a year, maybe? And you can see that here right now we are at almost 2020. You can see what we're expecting at 2030. You might be like, all right, this chart is not that good looking or whatever. But again, remember what I just said. People are born into poverty, and what happens is there's more people born than they die, of course, than die. And so this chart is normally supposed to look like this, because there's more people that are coming into this area as they are born in poverty. So it's supposed to look like this. It's turned exactly the other way around, which means it's like, instead of going to the to the zero, instead of having like a zero slope, it's actually a downward slope, which means it's double as cool, right? The theta is double as high as it's really supposed to be. You guys hopefully get it right there. It's just a lot more challenging to get a curve like this when it's supposed to be going up normally. But yeah, I think that's just a wonderful achievement. It's really helping the world out. And also through this internet of value here, what Ripple is trying to create, they're also helping tons of people. And I think it will also really help out with this poverty issue that we've been seeing, just because of how much money can be sent home. Now, some will state that if they can receive this money already, if they have any way to receive the money, they're most likely not living in extreme poverty. At least I saw a couple of tweets related to that a little bit before when I was doing my research on the situation. I don't agree with that though. I definitely think that sending money home, and for a $10 transfer to be 60 cents in fees instead of $2, all those things, whatever can be done, it's just really amazing. Will help people out and will really save a lot of people from poverty, or at least help people out. Maybe not to become richer, but to become a little bit less poor, or however you guys get my drift right there. Thank you all for watching. Hopefully you did enjoy this video, and I'll see you guys again in another one relatively soon. Take care, everybody, and have a very nice day. Make sure you follow me on Twitter though, the USDPHP, and I'll see you guys again.